Hello, I'm Samantha Nolan-Smith, and this is Lessons in Visibility. In this show, we ask what can be learned from the two faces of visibility. The first involves stepping forward and choosing to be seen and heard. The second opens you up to new ways of seeing and hearing the world around you. Welcome to the show. So today we're going to talk about a concept which I developed in response to my own needs initially, and then started sharing and found that lots of other people benefited from it, resonated with the idea. And it's really for anybody who feels that perhaps they've been jumping around from topic to topic, feels a little bit inconsistent or unsure about where they're landing. Perhaps you're very intuitive and you're following your gut or your intuitive nudges, and they seem to be taking you in a few different places, and you're not exactly sure how they're all coming together or what the bigger picture is. And so that's what our topic is for today. I came up with this concept, first of all, for myself, because I found after working many years in a very A-type personality style and with very unhealthy masculine traits of pushing and not really listening to my body and really trying to work in a very logical and factory-like manner, if you like. I got very sick and then as a consequence decided I would never work that way again. So the first many years of my business were about exploring, well, what does working look like if it doesn't look like that? And I relied very much on intuitive guidance, intuitive nudges, and I relied very much on the wisdom of my body. And if you are familiar with working in this way, you will be very well aware that the wisdom that comes from these places isn't always presented in a nice, neat, linear manner. So the brain sometimes has a little bit of a problem because it's trying to put the pieces together, and you're getting an intuitive nudge over here and you're downloading some information over there, and you're not exactly sure how it's all supposed to fit together or the timing of it, or are you supposed to be implementing all of these things immediately? And it can be confusing, and it absolutely requires a huge amount of trust. So as I was building out the elements of the business, I felt from time to time like I'd start something and I'd feel like, yes, this is absolutely really important. This is critical to the business and to the body of work that I'm building. And then I'd suddenly get this nudge, there's this other piece over there. And so then I'd go over there. And initially I thought that these were all totally different businesses or different ideas, or I didn't see the body of work that I was building for what it was. At times I felt inconsistent, and I definitely created more work for myself than I needed to, because there were times where I thought, oh, I'm going to have to completely rebrand now. And that was when suddenly, thankfully, the idea of an umbrella concept came to me. And an umbrella concept is connected to your vision. And the vision at the time that I had was always about supporting women. It was always about bringing women into themselves and supporting them to show up as themselves, to feel comfortable walking through the world. But I didn't have an umbrella concept that helped me from a marketing perspective, that helped me from a programmatic perspective. And when I finally landed on visibility as the umbrella concept, what happened was all of these pieces that I'd been working on, pieces around coming into alignment, pieces around working more in the feminine, the energy of the feminine, pieces around habit building and how to build healthy habits, pieces around block clearing, all of this suddenly came together, and I realized, oh, all of this can connect back to the topic of visibility. And then once I had that, I then also realized that all of this other work that I had done years prior, I had started my career in social justice, and before that had trained in feminist theory and feminist philosophy and so forth. And I suddenly realized, oh, all of that connects to this umbrella concept as well. So what the umbrella concept did for me once I landed on it was it stopped me jumping around, and it helped me to realize all of this is part of a bigger body of work, and that's what I've been building the whole time. What the umbrella concept also did was it then meant that it gave me a lens through which to assess ideas that were coming into my brain. Some of us have the problem of having far too many ideas come into our brain at once, and we need a filter for that. And what the umbrella concept did was it was big enough that it meant that I could move around within it. I could explore a number of different topics and not feel too confined or restrained. But it also provided me with this lens so that if an idea came in and I tried it through the lens of visibility and thought, no, I don't see the connection there, or that is clearly not visibility related, then I knew that's something to put on the shelf. That does not fit within this umbrella. That then brought me into a place of rest in my nervous system. I felt much more at ease. I felt sufficient freedom to move within the umbrella and explore topics ranging from what does structural inequality look like? How does it impact on a woman's experience of speaking up and claiming space in the world? To what is a visibility block? How does it work? How do you clear it out? To what is a visibility habit? And what is a habit of invisibility? And how do we shift from habits of invisibility to habits of visibility? If I had not had the umbrella concept, I may well have thought, oh, I need to just exist within this idea of block clearing. And then each time something around systemic inequality came up, I would have felt, oh, this doesn't fit. And I would have wondered, do I need to create a separate website? Do I need to be talking about that in a different place? Do I need a different social account? And you can see how that could end up in a huge amount of duplication of effort. Or if I had narrowed down and thought, I'm the habits person, I just speak about habits, then if I had wanted to speak about anything else visibility related, I would have again come into that problem mentally where I was trying to put things into a box. I would not have known how to present the ideas, how to create a message that actually incorporated these different things. So this is the invitation to consider. What is the body of work that I'm building out? And what's the umbrella concept that might cover this body of work? As you start to see that, then what happens is your messaging becomes cleaner. Your way of showing up becomes more coherent to the people who are watching you, reading you, listening to you. You are able to say to people, this is the topic we're talking about today, and this is how it connects back to my umbrella topic. And then they feel like, oh, okay, yep, I know why we're here. This person hasn't just jumped out of the blue from talking about financial advice to postnatal support, which would seem like, oh, these need to be totally different businesses and totally different topics. But if you are talking about support for mothers, or perhaps you're talking about being a single parent, for example, then financial advice and postnatal advice may well fit under your umbrella. They may not be so wildly different. And you being able to say, today we're talking about making sure your financials are well managed, or today we're talking about how to pull the right team around you to support you after you've had a child, whatever it might be. You see how the umbrella concept helps you to pull together or weave together what seemed like disparate threads and to actually create a coherent, beautiful and unique weaving that's all your own. I'd love to know if you have any questions about that. Send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for listening to Lessons in Visibility. If you'd like to connect in other places, come on over to theschoolofvisibility.com. And you can also find us at the School of Visibility on Instagram, Substack, Facebook, and Threads. Lessons in Visibility is produced by the School of Visibility on the land of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people. I acknowledge the peaceful legacy of custodianship that tens of thousands of years of coexistence with the land has bestowed on us all. And I note the visibility journey that remains unfinished. Voice, treaty, truth.